October 29th marks the 110th Hobo Day at South Dakota State University. This outstanding homecoming tradition has events happening all week for students, alumni, and community members. Today, I'm here with Regen Wiederrich, this year's Hobo Day Grand Pooba. He is here today to speak about his role and what is in store for Hobo Week this year. Thanks for being here today, Regen.
Thank you for having me.
So for people who don't know what Hobo Day or Hobo Week is, how would you describe it to them?
So in essence, Hobo Day and Hobo Week are just SDSU's homecoming celebration. So every school has their own version of that. We just call ours Hobo Day. So it kind of originates from the word homeward bound and wandering on to find your place in the world, your spirits, as we would kind of call it that way. So homecoming here is the biggest one-day event in the Dakotas. It's going to bring probably 13 to 18,000 people to town on Saturday, October 29th. So it's a lot of fun. There's nothing quite like it. It's been around for 110 years, like you were saying, and that to me is it's amazing. It brings back jackrabbits from all generations, past, present, and hopefully future as well. And Brookings really rallies behind SDSU all the time, but Hobo Day is a big visual representation of what that means to be a student here at SDSU and see that firsthand.
Absolutely. So who puts together Hobo Week?
So there is a group of students on campus called the Hobo Day Committee. There are 17 of us total. So underneath me, there'd be 17 students and then one fabulous advisor, Madeline Kerr. So we're all current students here at SDSU from our sophomore year to our senior year, or a little bit extra sometimes for some of us. And we help put on all the different traditions and events from the parade to marketing, you name it, we put it on. And every coordinator has their own little niche area that they focus on. And it's a lot of fun and they do a lot of hard work. And we couldn't have a Hobo Day celebration like we know it today without those students. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, while there is Hobo Week, there are events relating to it that happen outside of that, you know, like 1 month club, 6 month club, the Hobo Year Prep Night, that kind of thing. You guys plan all of that. What kind of work goes into that, especially on top of being a student?
Yeah, so it can get stressful and difficult at times, but it's always so worth it. Especially as you enter Hobo Week and we start to see all the hard work pay off for many of us on the committee. But yeah, the work starts. We get, we go to the football game on Hobo Day of 2021. And we get told the date the same time everybody else finds out as well. And then the next committee, the selection process for Grand Pooba starts that fall semester, a few weeks after Hobo Day concludes. They go through a big interview process with the current committee and other university stakeholders. Once that Grand Pooba is selected, usually end of November, early December time, they hit the ground running right away and they start figuring out who the assistant Poobas are going to be for events, marketing, and parade. And then when we come back, usually in January, early February, that committee is interviewed, they are selected, and they start going. They have meetings right away, about a month or so into school happening, and they don't stop all the way up until that homecoming tradition date happens itself. So it's a year-long process, and for those on leadership opportunities like myself, that even happens, we start thinking about those things before we even are in our roles that we have.
Yeah, for sure. And your title is Grand Pooba. How do you get that, number one, and what does that entail?
Yes, so Grand Pooba is a funny way that we call ourselves the president. So I'm just the president of the Hobo Day Committee. Pooba is a funny term that if you know the committee at all, we do a lot of fun and quirky things. So we couldn't have just a regular old name like president. Grand Pooba came about, I can't think of the exact date off the top of my head right now, but I know that I'm the 51st Grand Pooba in Hobo Day history. Before that, there were Hobo Day chairmen. So it had that change there about 50 years ago or so. But it comes about from a funny term from the Flintstones, I believe. So they used to yell Pooba in the show, and that kind of stuck around. And it was a way the committee could differentiate themselves from the rest of the groups on campus and in the community. It kind of lets people stop and think, oh, that kind of goes to something really cool. And then that cool thing is Hobo Day. So it came about a long time ago. And the role, like I was saying earlier, you do an application process and you interview with the current committee of the year that you were on, as well as other university stakeholders. So the Office of the President, the Alumni Association, the Foundation, the Vice President of Student Affairs, you name it. A lot of people in those interviews, and it's a big undertaking. You present your vision plan and what you want to look like for the year ahead, and you answer questions. A little nerve-wracking, a little stressful, but it's also a lot of fun because the job is so big, and making sure this tradition continues to live on for 110 years longer than you found it.
The events that happen this week, they aren't just for students, but for alumni, community members too. Some more directed at students to try and get them involved, get them started on their homecoming week. What is happening this week for Hobo Day?
Yeah, so yesterday on Monday was our first traditional homecoming Hobo Week event called Bubba Meal. This year is a record-breaking year, actually. We have almost 800 students who can get a free meal in the community of Brookings. So we have really gracious community members in Brookings and Volga area who are willing to invite college students to their home, and students can sign up, and the application sign up for that goes really quickly. I think it was opened on Friday about a week ago, and within like 3 hours, there were almost 400 students sign up for that event, which is insane. It's super cool to see all the hard work that we put into the event go on. But Bumba Meal is a really fun one where you can get a free home cooked meal on Monday evening. So that's one of our biggest events that students like to be a part of, just for the fun. And then you get to meet the community, which is always cool. And you get free food, which as a college student is always important. Otherwise, today, Tuesday, we have an event called Bum Fire that happens right after UPC's Jack's Got Talent. So you get your tickets for that from UPC. And then Bum Fire happens right after. It's a big bonfire in the tailgating area in the backyard by the Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. Last year, about 400 students came to that event. It was super fun. First time they had it in a long time just because of weather. Brookings can be a little unpredictable. So we had a big fire, and it was a huge burning of like a gigantic SD. There was music playing. There was hot chocolate, a bunch of stuff like that. So a really fun event for the students to go to and just kind of rally behind, getting excited for the week. But also the community can come out too and enjoy that event with us as well if they really want to. And then Wednesday is an event called Bum Over. It's in the Union again. It's where student groups can go against each other to build their best Hobo Day and cardboard creations. So we get some donations from Larson's here in town. They give us lots of cardboard, and we buy a bunch of other supplies here on the committee, and we give it to students to kind of build their best Hobo creation. So some years that's a Camp O'Neill replica, a Bumblebee replica, or other fun things like that. And the winners get some prizes, and their displays in the Union the entire rest of the week for Hobo Week as well. So it's a lot of fun to have that one in the Union as well. And then new this year, not really new, but just different timing, is Rally at the Rails. It is a big community event here in Brookings in downtown on 5th Street between Nick's Hamburgers and Wooden Legs. That's where we have some live music, food trucks, lots of different fun games and activities for students and families to kind of partake in. Last year, our attendance was pushing 900 or more. So it's a lot of fun that way too. So you get free live music. All the events that we put on are free from the Hobo Day Committee, which is super special as well to have those accessible to all students and faculty, staff, community members as well. The Rally at the Rails is kind of a big culmination, a big pep rally downtown to get everybody really excited about everything happening on Saturday. So yeah.
And then Saturday obviously is Hobo Day, chock full of fun stuff. Tell me about that.
So Hobo Day is, like I was saying, the biggest one-day event in the Dakotas. It's going to bring thousands of people back to Brookings, alumni, people in the community, Brookings County, around South Dakota, Minnesota, you name it. They're all coming back to Brookings for that big parade in the morning. So 9:30 is when the parade officially begins. So you want to get that spot along the parade route as soon as you can. I'd recommend not trying to drive through Brookings during the parade here in town, just based on its size. But yeah, we have over 50 student entries this year, which is, to my knowledge, one of the highest numbers in a long time. And then our community gets involved with community entries as well. And then we have different bands from South Dakota come, the marching bands and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. And we put on an amazing parade, and it's super well attended. Literally, when you walk down the parade route as a community member, you see a wall of yellow and blue that doesn't stop until you get to downtown. So it's really fun to see thousands of people come out and support you, all the hard work you put on, and just show their love and affinity for the university. SDSU is so special to so many people, and that parade is just a big culmination of what it means to really be a Jackrabbit. And then obviously the big thing happening after the parade is a football game. So if you don't have your tickets, they're going pretty quick, and you want to get those and be a part of that crowd. The Dyke House has been rocking this year.
Heck yeah.
The student section's been amazing. The crowd's been awesome.
And 7-1.
Yes,
That's
7-1, and it's the number one team in the country in the FCS. So, welcome our football team back home to Brookings. They got the number one ranking after taking the Rock and bringing it back to Brookings for 3 years in a row now from NDSU. Super proud of that. It's been amazing to be a student in all those situations, but to sit there on Hobo Day and really have your hard work behind you and just enjoy that game, that atmosphere, that experience, there's nothing quite like it. So Hobo Day is really special for a lot of people in Brookings and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on Saturday night, is that Hobo Night Live?
Yes, Residence Hall Association puts on an event called Hobo Night Live. So you can learn more about from your CAs, or Residence Hall advisors, and RHDs and whatnot. They'll have information about that, but I believe it happens at the Union. There's lots of different fun activities and games. A good way for students to have some fun times in the Union on campus Hobo evening.
Very nice. So, Regen, you were telling me earlier that this is your last semester for your undergrad as a Jackrabbit. And how are you making the most of this Hobo Day?
I think the biggest thing that hit me yesterday when we met with the committee one more time before the week officially started is just kind of making sure that I take a moment to take a step back at all events and just really, thank the students around me for being there, give my committee extra hugs, and just really remember all of the moments I've been a part of. My first year on the committee was COVID-19, so it was a little bit of a weird, up and down year, a little crazy for us, but we managed. And then last year, being a part of the committee and seeing a parade from the committee side was something so special. There's nothing quite like going down the parade route and singing all the committee songs and waving to your family and your friends and seeing them all come out and support you. So I'm really excited, not just for myself, but to share that with all the new members on the committee this year. I don't get to walk with them directly. I'm driving the bumblebee behind them, but I can see all their smiling faces and sing along as best I can in my raspy voice from yelling all the things in the morning and before the football game, and just getting excited to really just remember what it is to be a Jackrabbit. And that's the reason why I stayed. I wasn't quite ready to leave, and there's this opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And I am so thankful and blessed to be in the situation to see the parade from that end and really put on something special for 110 years of history here at SDSU.
That's a great thing to be part of.
Yes, it's been amazing. I can't thank. There's so many people to thank and look back on that I just can't even fathom what life would be like not being a hobo, not being a Jackrabbit. It really is truly special, and I can't wait to come back as a bum alum and come back as a parent one day and show my family what that means and why it is so special, and to see others get involved heavily too.
Absolutely. With that being said, do you have any advice for students?
I think the biggest piece of advice I could give Hobo Week specifically is understanding that there are over 11,000 students, and thousands of them are going to partake in all the events and really let loose and have some fun. So get your hobo gear, wear your hobo fit, get excited, find those buttons, get them in the bookstore every single year and have something to look back on. Get out of your residence hall room and really just enjoy what there is out there to do. It's going to be a beautiful week with weather and whatnot. So we're really excited. A lot of hard work goes into it, but I think the best thing is, as a student, is just having the opportunities before you to really get involved. And then if you really like it, join the Hobo Day committee, join any committee here on campus. There's lots to be a part of. And take time to realize when you're there on Saturday at the football game or at the parade, if you make it to that, look around and think that, wow, this is the university that I chose to go to. This is why it's special. This is what makes it so special for many people. When you come back, just, look back on those college years and think fondly of all that you were able to do.
100%. October 29th, Hobo Day. Be there or be square.
Oh yeah, go Jacks.
Thanks so much for being here today, Regen.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
This is Between Classes. Thanks for listening.